Yo, good people of Earth. You see, some wise man once said that life is more of the art of wrestling than dancing. Well, and in that case, you see, even committing, you can commit injustice by doing nothing. You see, it's why here we choose to spread love, unconditional love to all humans. And wonderful soul, you have proved yourself to be full of love by clicking this video. Respect and big up to yourself, man. So join us as we be reacting together to these videos, good vibes videos, all with the intentions of spreading peace, forgiveness, unity, and good vibes to all humans across the whole world. Out of Africa, I'm your host, Y311H, with lots of love. Let's dive in, man. Good vibes all the way. And then this is the first video here. We see this wonderful creature with some God-made nice look. You see, this is nice, man. It looks nice.
That the plays of William Shakespeare were actually written by a black Jewish woman called Amelia Bassano Lanier. This is a very revolutionary theory, but it's beginning to make sense. She was, after all, England's first published woman poet. She wrote a book in 1611 called Salve Deus, and she was also mistress to the man in charge of the English theatre. What's more, we've found her signatures on 7 of the plays.
Dear chosen ones, the time has come to unite. I know I repeat myself over and over and over again. The Messiah complex is dying, the alien narrative is dying, Blue Beam is dying. Everything is just collapsing. Can you see? Religion is collapsing. You're so confused, right? You don't know what's real, what's fake. And all you have is your soul. All you have is the connection to God, and not more. And now we build a lighter world. Welcome to New Earth. The old programs are dying within. Yes, many lies, so much infiltration everywhere. And these old programs must die within us. And the more you stay in touch with your soul, the more connected you are. You're not confused. You're just clear and in peace. Chosen ones, believe in yourself. You always knew. Something is off here. You always knew. People did not believe you. You see, many people holding on the old world. Yes, they do. Most people still do. And they're projecting. They're projecting a lot onto you now. They see you as the enemy. They do not understand. Why are you still smiling? Can you still shine? Because you enjoy every moment you have. You enjoy every gift. You are very humble. And you see the beauty in these little moments. But most people cannot. And you must stay strong, placing boundaries and stay focused on your soul tribe. And please believe in yourself. God believes in you. You all have the power to do so. For what are you waiting for? Your soul speaks to you. You have amazing talents. Share it now. Be the inspiration you want to see. The right people will always stand by your side. And you must let go of toxic people. It's a collective process. We must letting go of toxic people. And you see now who they truly are. You understand your true values. Chosen ones, rise. Don't hold it back. Don't allow anyone dragging you down. Keep going. You are divinely protected. You are strong and sovereign.
Open your third eye with this concentrated dose of Sirian frequency. Era kanamuru tura are iti kiu uta ama ate. Ita ura kama ea ata are ita a ame kiu tu uruda are ea ata a. Ea kua mare ata sio ura adi kia uta ame. Mea uda ate ia asa ade e na mene e te kuta ama a. Teia ura e ta are e ke tiu uto ura a ta a. Era a ka muturu sa are e ta ara a ta kuru ura are e ta ara a ta kuru uma are e ta ara a ta ea. Eda a da kunu mura satera tu kusuru ura da ea ura kana matea a tare. Maturutu ha tera ara ma e kiti usukura ade e da ara ata ara ada a. Feel free to save for later and try it again, but the most important thing with your third eye is to actually start using it. It's just like a muscle. It's not about waiting for some bells and whistles, it's actually putting it to use. So try communicating with your guides, try meditating, try doing something with it, like accessing your Akashic records or whatever it is that your third eye is there for. And let me know how this felt for you.
انظر كيف يفترون على الله الكذب وكفى به إثما مبينا. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم ملك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Oh, that's just good vibes. And then there's this animals here. The tiger cubs liked their mother dog very much. The tiger cubs liked their mother dog. You see, these are tiger cubs that have been living with some dog here, you see? And the dog has been their mother all along. And 2 months later, these cubs are growing to be very big, you see? They liked to stick to their mother every day. This is good vibes. But they were very naughty. But the mother dog always was full of good vibes. And the tiger grew knowing the mother dog, you see? Wow, this is an interesting story. You see, look at the differences in these animals in the terms of species and all that. But they grew up together and they understand love, you see? Because of what they were shown from the beginning. You see, it's just nice to see them interact like this. And it's just good vibes. Wonderful humans from wherever you're watching from. Those that are around you. Spread love.
Watch this.
I saw a really cool spoken word on TikTok that I want to share with y'all.
You're first. Is he foremost in position, rank, or significance? Does he come before all others in time or your list? Or do you just see him as a magic genie and the only time you pick up your Bible is to rub the dust off to make a wish? God, I really need this. God, I'm looking at him. God, here's my list. God, where's my hint? Can you work faster than this? And the whole time he's trying to get the idols out your heart because you started worshiping the gifts.
Wow.
I'm trying to warn you to not make the same mistake I did. I fell more in love with the creation and forgot the creator even exists. This generation has become so blinded they're getting trapped in the little things. It's the little greed and the little lust, and now they're battling within. It's the little porn and the little vids, and now they're trapped in sin. And as much as you love God, a cycle has took his place. The only thing you give God is complaints when you're stuck in your ways.
Wow.
See, first is who God is. First is where he needs to be. First is what he should receive. First is the kingdom and then all things. Just because he's first in your bio doesn't mean he's first in your biography. If you can't start your testimony with God, then you need to reevaluate some things. Open the page, give God the pen, and let him write your story. I gave God my first and started seeing his glory. It's no joke when you offer your life to God and he does a 180. See, I'm so passionate because this is my testimony. I gave God my first and started seeing his glory. It's no joke joke when you give God your first and he does a 180. I practice what I preach, there's no hypocrisy. I give God my first and now there's no stopping me. If you give God what you have left, you'll be just like the Pharisees. God is too holy for me to give him something that could be found so easily. God wants your first and your best, not your last and least. God needs to be at the top of your list and your first priority. We fall so in love with the hand of God and wonder why our mind is not at peace. So my question to you tonight, is God your first? Or is there an idol that's sitting in his seat?
Is God your first, or is there an idol that's sitting in your seat? I was thinking about this the other day because I'm like, man, sometimes the days will just go by and I find myself getting so busy and all of these things that really don't matter. I mean, some of them do, like my family, my wife, my kids, stuff like that. But for the most part, the other stuff that I get busy with, it really don't matter. And then I'm sitting up in bed, you know, at like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm in bed about to fall asleep. And then the thought comes to me of like, yo, I haven't even read my Bible today. I ain't really worshiped today. I ain't really prayed today. So then I try to get it all in right there. It's like I procrastinated that entire day and God was just waiting. He's like, hey, just come hang out with me. Come talk to me. Tell me how you're feeling. The entire day, God was there and I was just ignoring him the whole day. And then finally, at the end of the day, when I'm about to fall asleep, I give God my last 5 minutes of consciousness before I fall asleep. And then I'm trying to listen to the Bible. I have it on 2 times speed. I'm trying to worship. I'm trying to pray, all within this little 5 to 7 minute span. But it's like, bro, how come you didn't just prioritize your relationship with God?
Thank you all so much for watching Pearly Gates Productions. I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
What if I told you about the time that the biblical God almost lost a battle to the lower gods? Now, in order to dive into this, we have to understand that the god Enlil from the Sumerian, Babylonian, and Akkadian mythology is actually the same exact archetype as what we call the biblical God, specifically the God of the Old Testament. And within the Epic of Atrahasis, the lower gods, called the Agigi gods, rise up against this particular deity because they are tired of working in the conditions that they had been put through. These are what we would consider the fallen angels from the biblical mythos. These angels, or Agigi, lower gods, rise up against Enlil, even setting their pitchforks, their shovels, and all of their tools on fire and going straight to the door of Enlil. Enlil lived in a place called the Akur, which literally means the mountain house, or the pyramid, as I like to think of it. What's interesting about this mythos is, rather than what we get in the Bible, where you have one particular deity and the clear admittance of other deities with one lording over all of them, this one shows that the sides were not always as clear as we thought. And that's when Lord Enki steps in and devises a plan to create a being, a human being, that would actually take over and do the work of these lower gods or angels or whatever you choose to call them. You see, Lord Enki was a master craftsman. In fact, he was crafting everything from how to build these cities to literally how to create a human being. And as they devised this plan, they chose a midwife, Nintu, or even in another translation, her name is Mami or Mamie. They not only devise, but successfully create the perfect being to serve at the pleasure of the gods, and I quote, bear the drudgery of the god. This would be the being known as Adam from the biblical mythos, as well as many other mythological texts. The Epic of Atrahasis is one of our oldest mythos when it comes to a creation story, and I think it is worth looking at to ask ourselves the question, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Don't fall. Oh, wow.
What? What are you? How did you get up there? What are you doing? I came to hell, but I was still. If that's not a poison chalice, I don't know what is. What that was like, how easy you had it.
Go look at the water towers on the tops of buildings. If they're equally spaced, the person didn't know what they were doing, and you should not move into that building. Water towers are interesting because it gives you water pressure without electricity, provided it's full of water.
Right.
All right, but how do you get the water up there? You got to pump it. Water doesn't get there by itself.
Okay, now.
How are you going to get water up to the top of your roof? You got to pump it. That takes electricity. So here's what happens. You pump the water up to the tower. Now there's a blackout. You still have water until that tank empties.
Right.
Then you don't have water.
Because you have gravity. As long as you have gravity.
As long as you have, well, gravity to pull the water from behind. Right.
From the tower.
Then you have it.
Right.
So basically, if electricity goes out, quickly fill up everything with water. And then it'll be gone, and then you don't have to be stank, the next day.
So now here's the interesting question. If you got to pump the water up to the tower,
right,
why not just pump the water straight to the people's apartments in the building?
Oh, because they might not need it in that moment. Plus, you want enough water at any given instant to accommodate
everybody.
If everybody wants to take a shower, they can do it.
Right, because all the water is right in this
right
one
in that
tank.
one thing. But therefore, everybody would have to have a pump. And what's the point of that?
Right.
So it has that efficiency. Okay.
See, I like water towers even more now.
Now here's another thing. Have you ever noticed the buckles that go around the water tower that holds them together?
They're like little metal rods.
The metal rods.
All the way around.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed those?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever thought about them?
Not really.
Let's split the water tower into 3 levels.
Okay.
Right? Top, middle, and bottom.
Okay, that would be a good 3.
So you can ask, what is the weight of the water of that top third? It's whatever it is.
Right.
Okay? Call it 500 pounds.
500 pounds.
Right? So now I put a little buckle around that.
Right.
Okay? Right at that spot. Let me go to the bottom of that. Now, what is the weight of water at that point? Well, it's the top part.
500 plus 500.
It's 1,000 pounds. Well, if
plus the 500 at the bottom.
I didn't get there yet. I didn't get there yet.
Sorry.
So if one of these hoops is the right strength to hold 500 pounds,
right,
then that one, I need more than one hoop to hold it down here.
Yeah.
I need 2.
Right.
If one can hold 500, that 2 will hold the 1,000. Now I'm at the bottom. I have 500 by 500. I got 1,500 pounds pressing down at the bottom.
Right.
I need 3 of those hoops.
Gotcha.
Okay? Go look at the water towers on the tops of buildings. The hoops get closer and closer
as you get to the bottom.
As you get to the bottom. Just because of this fact. The water gets heavy.
Nice. That is more than you ever wanted to know about.
I know it is. It is so too.
And it's so cool as far as I'm concerned.
If they're equally spaced, the person didn't know what they were doing, and you should not move into that building. Because the base of the water tower would not be as structurally sound as the upper portions. And that's where the stuff goes bad.
You better have flood insurance if that happens. Wow, that is so cool.
Water towers, a little bit of physics, a little bit of electricity.
It's all happening.
Oh, one last thing.
Cool.
If a building in Manhattan is lower than about 6 stories, doesn't need a water tower.
All right. Because, wait, let me guess. Because you can get the water to every apartment just through the regular pressure of a pump?
Yes. No, it's not a pump.
Not a pump.
It's the height of the reservoir that's feeding Manhattan has that elevation above Manhattan.
Gotcha.
So the water
pressure
falls,
is already there.
The water falls from the reservoir into your faucet over that height. And you know something? The ancient Romans knew that. The
aqueducts were built on that.
Aqueduct, pieces of which are still standing, was a channel that fed a lake or whatever was their water supply, which is at a higher elevation than Rome. And they scoop up that water, and the water just goes down all by itself. No pump necessary.
Boy, they don't build those aqueducts like they used to.
I know, so it's still standing.
Yep.
We got stuff here falling down that built 10 years ago, and that's up for 2,000 years.
God. Hey.
That just meant the mayor of Rome spent too much money building it. If your structures outlive your civilization by 2,000 years, you overbuilt.
You probably overbuilt. That's very funny. All right, there you go. Who knew there was so much to learn about water towers? So next time I wash my hands, I'm going to remember how far that water had to travel into my building. Yes, right.
I would tell you to keep looking up.
Oh, that's interesting. That's some interesting stuff.
Did you know that we've been completely lied to about the way our hearts actually work? Because if people found out the power of this magnet that is inside of us, they could not only pull any person towards them, but they could pull any experience, any dream that they want would just magnetize towards them. People would be too powerful. See, we were taught and conditioned to believe that the heart is just a physical pump, pumping blood into our body, but this is not the truth. The heart is actually an electromagnetic coil that can be unfolded, but they don't want you to see this image right here, and that's why it's so hard to find on Google. And this is not just me making this up. Scientists have actually measured that our hearts produce a significant electromagnetic field with each contraction due to the coordinated depolarization of myocytes producing a current flow that extends outside of the body. Almost everything that modern science and the school system teaches us is true about our bodies and the way we work is a complete lie to mask our true potential and what we are as energetic beings. Our hearts are not just pumps, our hearts are electromagnetic coils that pull energy through us that will either magnetize experiences, people towards us, or deter them away. Reality you experience is determined by how much love you radiate outwards for the life that you currently live. And most people today, because they work jobs, because they're out of alignment with what they love, their passion, they're in service to themselves, not to the world, therefore in a perpetual downward spiral and not living their dream life. And that's how they get you.
Did you know that good people of Earth? New stuff, man. And today this guy noticed the dog bringing their best friend back to the stable. And this is good vibes. So you see the dog and the horse are good friends and they love to play. Oh, I see, and the dog is pulling the horse by the rush. This is good vibes. I didn't know the horse can be this cooperative, full of good vibes, wonderful answers. You see? And if these two can operate together, then all of us in the earth can operate as one. Much love.
Hi, Mama. Hi. Mama? Mama sit? Buddy. You're such a good girl. I love you, sweetie. I love you. I'll see everybody later. Bye. Bye. Sit, Mama sit. Let's see if she'll do that. Oh, what a good girl. What a good girl.
Here comes, yes, number one. It imploded.
Ah, what's going on? Oh, this is some rocket that is being launched, and it's breaking the bomb. This is crazy stuff. Good people of Earth, do you think this footage is really you see? Before we even talk about the rocket, look at this and let's help one another understand. Do you think this is how those stuff really go up there? You see? After that now, who was recording this stuff? There was a camera mounted to the rocket or what was going on? And then now, is that real? Oh my God.
Telepathy is telepathy. You are never reading someone else's mind. You are on the same vibrational wavelength as them and having the same thoughts at the same time, because that's the thoughts that occur with that frequency. That's why people who are in love often know exactly what each other are thinking. finish each other's sentences because they're on the same wavelength. That's what telepathy is. The mind you're reading is your own, but you know that the thoughts going through your mind are exactly the thoughts going through someone else's mind that you are in vibrational stasis with.
So stay in their vibration. That would help you.
Be true to
understand them
yourself, be your true vibration, and be in love with
Yeah.
everyone and everything.
Good vibes all the way, man.
So did you know that you can reset your For You page? Yeah, I just found this out today. Apparently, if you're just sick of what you're seeing on your For You page, you feel like it's just gotten out of control, like the things you're seeing have absolutely no relevance to you, or just there are things that you're just not interested, you can actually reset it to what it was like if you first ever got yourself a TikTok account, and you could recurate it to your likes and to your passions. Yeah, I know, that's crazy, right? You can do this, and I'm gonna show you how. Okay, so after you're done watching this video, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna hit that little person button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, that little profile button. From there, you're gonna click the little 3 lines in the upper right hand corner of the screen, and then some options will pop up on the bottom. It's gonna say creator tools, balance, my QR code. Go ahead and click on the one that says settings and privacy. And on the settings and privacy page, you're gonna go ahead and click on the button that says content preferences. And then once you're on that screen, you're gonna press the button that says refresh your For You feed. Once you press that, go ahead and hit OK, hit the red button, and voila, you have a brand new For You feed that you can recurate to the things that you actually wanna see and the things you're actually interested in. I'm here for you guys, okay? Happy scrolling.
That's new to me. See, the one I'm using cannot do that. Huh, what is this guy doing here? Oh, he read this stuff for the ants here, and he decided to give them dinner. And you say these animals are very cooperative and united. And you see they are very small and they carry big stuff just because of unity and working together. And so on. That way they are able to lift stuff like this. You see, this is coordination, cooperation, and good vibes. And everybody have to carry something, no matter how small. And eventually they feed the whole community. And there are a lot of us in this world. You see, the friend used to tell me like the ants for every single person has once like almost 5 million. You see, you imagine if every single person has ants worth 5 million. Imagine the number of ants in this world. They can do crazy stuff. When they unite, they can beat us properly if we don't unite. You see?
There's been a lot of confusion about the sun and the moon ever since biblical Genesis talked about it. What happens in biblical Genesis, there's a line, and God made 2 great lights, one to light the day, the other to light the night. And this messed with people's head because many people thought, well, the moon is a source of its own light. But in fact, it's only, we know today, of course, that it is purely reflected sunlight. In fact, if you're into photography and there's a full moon out and you take a time exposure of any scene at all, and if the exposure is long enough, it'll record all the colors that you would have recorded in the daytime, and that picture will end up looking like you took it in broad daylight. Because moonlight is fundamentally the same as sunlight. It's just much dimmer. But why is it the same? Because it's reflecting sunlight. All right. So with the idea that the sun lights the day and the moon lights the night, we have these poems and lore and literature and people reciting that the sun comes out in the day and the moon comes out at night. Well, the moon is out in the daytime just as often as it's out at night. No one apparently thinks to notice that. All right. So if the sun and the moon are opposite each other, the sun is fully illuminating the moon that you see. It's a full moon. If it comes around 90 degrees, then the sun is illuminating half the moon. And then you get a half moon in the sky. And if the moon comes and the angle gets narrower and narrower, you see less and less of the moon. You say a thin crescent, then you see no moon at all, otherwise known as new moon. Then the moon passes to the other side, and the crescent shows up on the other half of the moon as it works its way in its monthly orbit. If at any time you see the sun and the moon in the sky, anybody on Earth 12 time zones away from you sees neither the sun nor the moon. Period. You should think about all the times at night that you see neither the sun nor the moon. somebody else in the world sees both of them.
That guy is very wise. Good vibes, man.